Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing superbly great. So, in this lecture we are going to start with our next chapter, that is chapter number 11. We have already completed 10 chapters and in all we are having 17 chapters. So, we are going to start with the chapter number 11 now, and this chapter is on contract costing. Contract costing. Now, one thing, all the chapters from now on, the next 7 chapters are going to be really important chapters, right? In fact, all the chapters are important, no doubt about it, but these next 7 chapters are really good chapters, and almost every attempt the questions are asked from these chapters, right? And the new trend that ICI is following is, what they are doing is they are increasing their range of asking the questions by dividing the question into 5 marks. Earlier, what they used to do in the new course, at least, ICI what used to do is they used to ask 10 marks single question from one chapter. Now what they are doing is they are dividing the 10 marks into 5 marks so they can cover more number of chapters. So if you ask me that, sir, which are the important chapters, or if there are any chapters that we can leave, I will say that you don't have to leave even a single chapter from the examination point of view, right? The same is applicable for CMA students also and for everyone else, right? You have to cover each and every chapter, sir. Each and every chapter, mind you, right? Secondly, the handbooks are going to play a crucial role now, right? All the notes are there, the practice questions are there. The next few chapters handbooks are definitely going to play a big role, so do not miss out on that thing, right? That is my advice. Rest is up to you whether you want to take it or not. That will be your benefit, not my benefit, right? You want to take it or not, absolutely your choice, right, sir? So let's start with this chapter now, chapter of contract costing. Keep your handbooks, keep your notebooks ready with you. Let's start. Sir, we have understood much about costing. What is costing? What is costing? What is costing? We have already understood it. Now, first thing that we are going to understand is, sir, what is a contract? Right? So the first thing that we are going to understand is, what is a contract, right? Listen to a small story, a small example through which I am going to explain the contract. I am going to explain the features of a contract, right? You must have studied about the Act and all that in the law, right? But here we are going to study something different about the contract, right? We are going to study about the costing part related to the contract, not the law part, okay? Listen to a story very carefully. One person, Mr. X, he recently shifted to, say, Hyderabad or Bangalore or any other area of your choice, right? He buys a land. He buys a land, right, for home construction. Right? He buys a land for home construction. In one of the very posh localities of Hyderabad, he has recently shifted. He is into a job. Right? He is not a businessman. He is into a job. He shifted to Hyderabad and he buys a land for constructing his home. Now, just tell me one thing. Is Mr. X going to construct his home himself, or he is going to hire someone? Sir, home construction is that easy a job? He is going to carry all the material on his head, on his shoulders, and he is going to, build the walls and everything, is going to do it all alone? No, sir. Obviously, no. Right? Obviously, if Mr. X is doing a job, then how can he construct a home himself? Sir, nobody can. Even if into business, he is not going to construct his home himself. Right? So what he is doing is, Mr. X, now he hires Mr. Y to construct his home. Now, Mr. Y is into this specific business where he constructs the home, right? So, Mr. X hires Mr. Y. He is one of the best persons who can design the home, who can hire the labor and construct the home for Mr. X. So, he hires Mr. Y for that, right? Mr. X is not having any time, sir. He is into job, 9 to 5 job. By 6 o'clock, by 7 o'clock, he will come back home, right? So he says to Mr. Y that the whole responsibility of construction is on you. Mr. X says to Mr. Y that whole responsibility of construction is on Mr. Y. Great, sir. Now just tell me one thing, that Mr. Y says, okay, I'll construct the house for you. Is Mr. Y going to construct the house free of cost? Why, sir? Is Mr. Y a relative of Mr. X? Even if Mr. Y is a relative of Mr. X, in no case Mr. Y is going to construct the house free of cost. Isn't it? This is logical, sir. Even if Mr. Y is the relative of X, why will Mr. I construct such a big house, right, free of cost? No, he will charge something, obviously, right? So Mr. Y says, so Mr. X is asking basically two questions from Mr. Y, right? There is question number 1. Question number 1 is the time of completion. Question number 1 is, one second. Question number 1 is time for completion. Time required for completion of construction. This is the question. Who is asking? Mr. X is asking to Mr. Y. Mr. Y says that the time for construction will be approximately 2 years. It is a double story building that we have to construct, right? The land area is quite huge. We have to construct, say, 5-6 bedrooms, then dining hall, then there will be a office also, a business hall, and all those things, right? So he says will take approximately 2 years. Mr. X says okay. Next question is amount, right? So Mr. X says what will be the amount that you will be charging for the construction of his home. Now Mr. Y thinks for a while and he says, sir, we will charge approximately rupees 20 lakhs. Right? Whole responsibility is mine. Mr. Y says, whole responsibility is mine to bring material, labor, all other expenses are going to be mine. You just have to pay me rupees 20 lakhs. Mr. X says, great. Right? Because Mr. X doesn't have a time. He is into job, 9 to 5. He's not having time. He says all the responsibility is yours. Bring material, labor, expenses. Everything is your responsibility. I'll pay you 20 lakhs. Right? So these are the two basic questions related to this. Right? Time for completion, approximately 2 years. Amount involved is 20 lakhs. Right? So what they have done is they both of them agreed on their terms, right? Both of them are happy that Mr. X says, okay, I'll pay you 20 lakhs and approximately 2 years, fine with me. Now, the next step is, now Mr. X is a man of, words, and Mr. Y also says, to be on safer side, let's do a written agreement. Let's do a written agreement where we'll write all the terms including the price, that is 20 lakh, the time to be taken, the material cost, labor cost, everything. Will do a written agreement. Now this written agreement is known as a contract. This written agreement is what we call it as a contract. Right? Where one person will provide his services or material, right, goods or services, one person will provide them and the other person will pay for that, right? A contract. Now, as you can see, there are two parties to the contract. In this contract, there are two parties who are involved. One is Mr. X, the other party is Mr. Y. Any doubts? Right? Now, who is Mr. X? There are specific names given to Mr. X and Mr. Y. Right? There are specific names given to them. Mr. Y is called contractor. Mr. Y is called contractor. And Mr. X, who is giving the contract, he is known as contractee. Right? So to a contract, there will always be two parties. Mr. X will be called the contractee who is giving the contract, and Mr. Y who is taking the contract, he will be called the contractor. Clear? So basically, contract is what? Those who are having the handbooks, read it. Contracts are big jobs or specific work orders from the customer which are undertaken at the site of the customer. Now it is very interesting. Now if Mr. Y wants to construct the house for Mr. X, what will he do? Is it possible that Mr. Y will sit at his home, construct the house, and then take that house and keep it on the land of Mr. X? Is it possible, sir? Is it possible? Sir, what are you talking about? How is it possible, sir? Right? So that means the contract is taken at the site of the customer. Right? So this is another feature, that contracts are undertaken at the site of the contractee. Clear? Now the few things that you need to notice. One is the amount involved in the contracts is quite huge. Secondly, the time span of the contracts is quite large. Say in this case, he is saying approximately 2 years. So it can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? So the time span involved in the contract is quite large. See, there is a difference between a contract and the job. Even we are saying what I just told you, that contracts are big job or specific. Sir, here also I am saying job. That means we can consider it as job costing also. We have just done the job costing in the last chapter. So there is a difference between contract and a job. What is the difference between that? Right? Contract and the job. Two major differences, sir. One is, in contract, the amount involved is huge. Amount involved is quite big, and in job costing the amount involved is comparatively less. Job is what? I received an order for manufacturing the t-shirts, right? So the amount involved in construction of home and in manufacturing t-shirts, you can compare it. If I want 100, 500 t-shirts, right, what will be the cost? And if I am constructing the house, what will be the price, right? So you can easily compare the amount involved. Secondly, the time span. Here the time span is, say, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. Here the time span will be short. The time span will be short, say 2 months, right? It will be in months, because, sir, if I have given a job of manufacturing 500 t-shirts, that means I'm going to sell the t-shirts in the coming month, right? I can't wait for 1 year. After 1 year, the designs will change. Everything is going to change. So why I am going to sell the t-shirts after 1 year? No, sir. No, makes no sense, right? And the manufacturing of 500 t-shirts won't take 1 year or 2 years, but the construction of house will, right? So time involved is huge. Thirdly, the contracts are taken at the site of contractee. Right, at the site of, sir, here the spellings are wrong, at the site of, right? So in jobs can be taken at the site of contractor, I can say, right? Or manufacturer, I can say. It is not necessary that you should go to the site of the customer, right? So you should manufacture the t-shirts in your factory, not going to the customer factory and manufacture it there. You can't take the machinery there. But in case of a contract, if you want to build a house, you will have to build it at the site of the contractee. You can't build a house sitting in your office or in your home and you can take that building and put it on the land. You can't do that, right? So these are the few differences between the contract and the job costing. This is one of the theory questions, right? Clear? This much is clear. Any doubts in this thing up till this point? What is a contract, right? And what are the various features, the parties to the contract? There are two parties. One is the contractee and the other one is the contractor. Contractee will make payment to the contractor and contractor will provide the services to the contractee. Services, goods, everything. Clear? And this is the difference between contract and job. Now just tell me one thing. Mr. Y has undertaken the contract, right? Let's come to the contract now. Sir, who is going to do the expenditure? Who is going to do the expenditure? Okay, I'll write in full. Who is going to do all the expenditure on this contract? See, if you want to construct a house, you will need the bricks, that is material, raw material. Then you will need the labor also. Then there will be other expenses also. Clear? Who is going to incur all those expenses, whether it is Mr. X or whether it is Mr. Y? You might say, sir, Mr. X will be paying 20 lakhs. That means Mr. X will be incurring the expenditure. Okay, I went to Mr. X. Just imagine a situation. You are a friend of Mr. X. You go to Mr. X to meet him, and you are asking him a question that you are paying 20 lakhs. Can you tell me the material cost incurred? You are asking Mr. X. You are the friend of Mr. X. You are asking Mr. X, that friend, can you tell me how much of what is the cost of material that has been put into your construction, and what is the amount of labor that has been put into your construction? Can you tell me? Now Mr. X is looking at you like he is going to eat you. He's saying, what are you asking? I am least concerned about material labor. I don't know what is this. I just have to pay 20 lakhs to Mr. Y. Rest is Mr. Y's headache. So tell me, who is going to do all the expenditure related to the construction? Who is going to take the headache of material labor overheads? Sir, Mr. Y is going to do all this expenditure. Right? Isn't it? So what will Mr. Y do? Mr. Y will make a statement where he will keep a record. What is my total cost? Right? How much of the cost has been incurred? Now Mr. Y is charging 20 lakhs. How he decided 20 lakhs? Sir, in this 20 lakhs, Mr. Y will consider the cost also and consider the profit that he wants to earn. Isn't it? He will consider the cost also and he will add the profit that he wants to earn from that contract. Otherwise, if he doesn't want to earn the profit, then why will he take that contract? Right? Obviously, if he is setting up this 20 lakh, he will be considering the cost. So one thing is there, if all the expenditure is to be done by Mr. Y, we say that contract costing is done from the point of view of Mr. Y. We'll do contract costing. Costing means expenditure. If expenditure is being done by Mr. Y, that means the costing is to be done from the point of view of Mr. Y. I'll say costing will be done for Mr. Y. From here I can say one thing, that contract costing is done. Contract costing is done from the viewpoint. Contract costing is done from the viewpoint of contractor. Because the contractor is interested in knowing his total cost, and the contractor is interested in knowing whether he is earning the profit from that contract or not. Right? Sir, what about the contractee? Sir, contractee has to pay 20 lakhs. Right? It is the total cost for contractee. But who is providing the services? Mr. Y. Who is providing material and everything? Mr. Y. So Mr. Y, who is doing the contract, he is the contractor. He is interested in knowing what will be my total cost of the contract, whether I will be earning the profit from that contract or not. Only then it is beneficial, right? Otherwise, Otherwise, there is no fun of doing the work. Now, if you are doing a job, why are you doing job? To earn something? Why is Mr. Y providing the services? Because he wants to earn from that contract. For contractor, it is a total cost. 20 lakhs is a total cost. But for Mr. Y, there are two elements. One is cost, other one is profit. Right? So always remember that contract costing is mostly done from the viewpoint of contractor. Now, Mr. Y is a contractor. He comes to you. You are a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, right? Mr. Y says that, sir, I have given him the quotation of 20 lakhs. Now tell me that whether it is correct or not. I have given him to approximate value of 20 lakhs, but I want to give the final price tomorrow. I want to quote the final contract price tomorrow. Please tell me whether this 20 lakhs is correct or not. Who is saying this? Mr. Y. To whom? To you. You are the cost accountant or the chartered accountant, and he comes to you that, sir, please help me in fixing the contract price. This 20 lakh is called as what? This 20 lakh is called as contract price. Right? You are a chartered accountant. You offer him some tea, coffee, and try to calm him down. You say, let's sit down, Mr. Y. Okay, now, sir, if you are a chartered accountant, just tell me one thing. Sir, how do you identify the profit, or how do you identify the sale price of a product? How do you identify that? We have already studied, sir. We have already covered 10 chapters. By this time, you must be knowing that if you want to identify the selling price of a product, or you want to identify the profit that we are going to earn from that particular product or service or whatever it is, right? How to identify that? Sir, very simple, sir. Correct answer, very simple. What? Just prepare the cost sheet. Right? So, there is one topic that is called as fixation of contract price. Fixation of contract price. As I just told you that, sir, in the contract price there will be two elements. If we talk about the contract price, sir, there will be two elements. One is the cost element, other one is the profit element. So now you as a chartered accountant, you are asking Mr. Y, sir, tell me what will be the amount of material that you think will be involved in that. He says, sir, material used, direct material. He says approximately 5 lakh rupees. Okay, I noted down on the paper. Then I said, what will be the labor cost? What will be the labor cost approximately? He says 3 lakh rupees, sir. Okay. I said, okay, sir. Total 8 lakh rupees. Now this 8 lakh rupees is what? This 8 lakh rupees is my prime cost. Then I asked him, sir, you will offer tea, coffee and some accommodation to the labor and all those expenses will be there. He said, yes, sir. So I asked him, what will be the overheads? Factory overheads. That is construction overheads basically. He says approximately 1 lakh, sir. I said, okay, total how much? 9 lakh. This is what? Your works cost. Now, any other cost? Yes, sir. Sir, which cost? Any other cost is office and admin cost. Sir, what is this office and admin cost in the contract costing? Sir, you will prepare a design on the paper or not? You will prepare the design of the construction. Have you seen the architect's design? Yes, sir. Isn't it? You will prepare the design, you will take out the printouts, multiple printouts, you will send it to your customers. You have one expert person who is expert in making those designs, because those are very intricate things. You have to measure each and everything, you have write it down on the paper. Those are very difficult things to make, right? There are specific softwares for that. Clear? So you will pay the salary to that person who is sitting there. You will take out the printout. There will be printing and stationery cost there. You will keep one computer there. You will keep you will have internet access there, internet expenditure. You will keep one telephone there. There will be a telephone expenses. Obviously, sir. Right? So there will be office and administration cost also. I say it is 1 lakh rupees. right? Any other cost, sir? Total will be, this will be my total cost. Now some of you might say that, sir, there will be selling and distribution expenses. Sir, he is a contractor. He's not selling the goods where he will be doing the advertisement expenditure. He's already having the contract in hand. He's not going to sell that house to anybody. He's constructing the house on behalf of anybody. He doesn't have to incur any selling and distribution expenses, right? So this 10 lakh is my total cost. Now my next question is, how much you have quoted? He says, I have quoted a sales value of 20 lakhs. That means he will be earning a profit. He will be earning a profit of 10 lakh rupees. Now he suddenly jumps out of his chair. He says, wow, sir, that is great. Isn't it? Mr. Y jumps out of his chair. Sir, profit of 10 lakh. Great, sir. Wow. He's so happy. He says, 10 lakh is my total cost. I'm giving in 20 lakhs. That means 10 lakh is my profit. He's so happy. He's so happy, sir. He starts jumping. Right? Now you are a smart chartered accountant. You looked at him jumping for say 5 minutes. After that you ask him, sit down. You try to explain him one more concept. This is clear. This is the fixation of contract price. This is how he is going to fix the contract price, that how much he should charge from the customer for that particular contract. Now, you are an expert chartered accountant. Now you have put forward one more point, right, because of which his jumping stopped. What is that point? He says, listen to it very carefully. He says, you are going to start a contract, say on 1/4/2021. This contract will take 2 years, right? Here is 1 year, here is 2 years. That is, the first year is 31st of March 22, then 31st of March 23. Right, sir? Sir, you have quoted 20 lakh here based on this estimation that material cost is 5 lakh, labor 3 lakh, factory overheads 1 lakh, office administration 1 lakh, total cost 10 lakh, profit 10 lakhs, right? Now he says the raw material here on 1st of April 21, raw material cost is, say, I'll take a particular raw material, say a bag of cement, right? That is for 300 rupees per bag. A bag of cement for 300 rupees. Now, based on this, you have done this calculation, 5 lakh, 3 lakh and all that. You have calculated your profit of 10 lakh rupees. Great, sir. Now what happened? Sir, this cement will be used throughout the construction almost, say in between or on 31st of this. You again ordered some bags, right? Now the bag cost is 350. That means your material cost has increased. This raw material cost on 31st of March 2022, you cannot predict accurately on 1st of April 21. That means this whole cost is basically an assumption based, I can say. Assumption based that the cost is not going to change, whereas the reality is something different. In reality, you do not know that what will be my actual material cost by the time I end this contract, basically, right? Because the material cost can fluctuate, like I have told you. The labor prices can fluctuate. My other expenses can fluctuate. So, this is not the exact profit that you will earn. Now Mr. Y, who was 5 minutes ago, he was jumping madly. Now he is like, he is going into tears anytime. That, sir, I started having dream 10 lakhs profit. I will have this bike. I will have this car. Sir, this is a dream project. Right? So he was almost going into tears and you saved him. You said, don't worry, we have a provision for this thing. In your contract, when you are going to write a contract, keep one clause in that is known as escalation clause. escalation clause. That what is this clause says, we'll discuss it later on also. We have practical problems also on this escalation clause, right? Sir, now Mr. Y is asking, sir, what is this? Now you are explaining to him. Initially, Mr. Y will quote 20 lakhs. But at the same time, he will put a clause in the contract that in case the material prices increase in future, any prices, not only material prices, any cost incurred during the contract, the price of it can be labor related, it can be overheads, it can be material. If there is a change in the price of any of the cost elements, the contract price, that is 20 lakhs, that will increase accordingly. Now, what is the focus here? The focus is if the price increases, right, not the quantity. I'll explain this later on. We'll come in the end on escalation claim, right? There is a practical problem also, we'll do it. I'll explain that. Just remember one thing, that in case there is a change in the price, say the overheads increases, the material cost increases from 300 to 350, in that case, we will keep the escalation clause in the contract that in case there is a change in the price, the contract price might go up. Initially, 20 lakh looks good. Now again, Mr. Y started smiling a bit, right? Where he was almost into tears, he started smiling a bit, sir. Okay, sir, now I got it. Right? So this is about the escalation clause. This is how he is going to identify the price that he wants to quote. 20 lakh he has quoted based on the total cost, the profit that he wants to earn, and the sales value. This is the fixation of contract price, right? So what I have done is I have just given you the overview of the chapter, right? That what is a contract, what are the features of the contract, how contract is different from a job, right? So I've just given you one overview of this chapter, that what is a contract. The contract costing is done from the viewpoint of a contractor, because contractor is the one who is interested in knowing what is the total expenditure in the construction of that house, right? And whether I will be earning the profit from there or not. Clear? Right, sir? Difference between contract and job is there. Written agreement. Mostly the contracts are written agreements to be on safer side, right? So there are two parties, Mr. X, Mr. Y. And the contracts are undertaken at the site of the contractee, right? I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have learned something, do hit the like button and subscribe the channel. That is very, 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 very important, guys. Okay, and obviously the notes, the handbooks are going to play a crucial role in the upcoming chapter, so don't miss out on this thing, right? It will be your benefit only. In terms of practice also, in terms of concepts also, because you can, if you have the handbooks at your disposal, you can focus more on understanding the concept. So what will happen? This is a general human nature. We also made such mistakes, right? What we used to do, sir, we used to focus on writing when the teacher is teaching us. We used to focus on writing. We do not miss out on any point. And ultimately, what we used to miss out on is understanding the concept. We used to focus on writing, sir. So if you have the handbooks at your disposal, you don't have to focus on writing. What you have to focus is listen to the teacher carefully what he is teaching, and write only the additional or the other important things that you want to write. Right? Your main focus is on listening to the teacher, understanding the concept. So we'll end this chapter, this lecture here. Not chapter, sir. We have just started with the chapter. Okay, so we are going to end this lecture here only. In the next lecture, we are going to continue with the contract costing, and we'll start the major part of the contract costing, that is preparation of contract account. We'll discuss it in the next lecture, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.